Hey everybody, welcome to the Dad Challenge podcast. My name's Josh. Thanks for joining me today. We're talking about the Senate hearing that just happened yesterday. Craziness abounds. I haven't taken a look at it. I'm gonna be blind reacting to their opening comments today. Then I've got someone, and then I got my researcher going through and just looking for all the pertinent timestamps because it is, how long is this thing? 3 hours and 50 minutes. So obviously I'm not gonna watch the whole thing and comment on it, but we're gonna talk about because the opening statements are gonna say a lot. And they're all going to be lies, obviously, but we got to look at it, and then we're going to look through the thing, and we're going to do another video on this probably next week about all the questions that they were asked and how many lies they told and everything else, because this is a really, really serious topic, and the fact that they're sitting in front of Congress or whoever they're sitting in front of right now is really, really, really a big deal. So let's talk about it. So if you hear something going on in the background, I'm flooding my rink, and I've got these 3 giant water tanks that I bought. They weren't water tanks before, but I repurposed them to be water tanks because the only way to flood this rink is to flood it heavy. So I borrow a buddy of mine who's got a really good water pump and these 2-inch hoses, and it goes on the water pump and it pumps out 1,000 liters of water in 2 minutes. So it floods the ice, and the ice is half flooded. I know it's only taken me 2 months to half flood my ice. So you'll hear this pumping water out of my well. That's why it's there. Anyway, all that to say, let's talk about lawmakers grilled the CEOs of Meta, TikTok, Facebook. I think Discord is there. Hopefully Instagram. Honestly, I don't know. This just happened today and people just brought it to my attention. So I'm like, okay, this is the most important stuff. You know, snarking is fun. Making fun of people is fun. Making fun of child exploiters. That's what we do here. But this is the meat of the matter. This is the stuff that really, really matters. We want laws to be in effect so that kids are protected, because parents aren't doing it. They're not protecting their children. And so it's on lawmakers to make laws to protect children. Like, you can't smoke till you're 18 or 19. In Canada, I think it's 19. In Quebec, I think it's 18. You can't get tattoos without your parents' permission at least till you're 16, and in some places not even then. You have to be 18. Can't join the military and go get killed overseas until you're 18. Okay? There's lots of things you can't do, and the law makes it so they can't, because parents would probably let their kids do it. In some countries, it's a lot different. But here, the law often has to step in where parents fail because parents are failing to protect their children. And social media and the use of it is absolutely like fentanyl. And they've said it 1,000,000 times. It's so bad for children. Putting this stuff in front of, it's so bad for everybody. I mean, even adults who can make informed consent and decisions on what they want to watch, that stuff in front of your eyeballs every single day is dangerous for you. I don't watch all that much social media. I really don't watch YouTube. I don't. I know I make my living on here, but I don't watch it. Okay, I watch the stuff that really matters. Although I watched a Mr. Beast video the other day, it's fully through for the first time, and oh my gosh, it is really entertaining. I'll give you that. So, but all that to say is that kids shouldn't be on it, nor should they be exploited on it. And so that's my big battle. I'd rather our kids aren't on social media ever, not perusing it, but we all know that kids are. My kids aren't. Not my younger ones anyway. Until they're, 15, 16, I won't even let them on it. They will not have the apps. I don't care. I don't care if their friends all have it. Even my daughter came to me and was like, Dad, kids at school are like, why don't you have Snapchat? I'm like, Snapchat? You're 11. And she's like, yeah, because I have a life, she tells her friends, which is great. I try to tell her friends, just tell your friends that we love you. And that's why we don't let you have these social media platforms, because we want to protect you. It is dangerous. But so I know that these Senate hearings are more directed at kids on social media, using it and not being starring in it. And obviously the battle is both ways, but I think it kind of hits both ways, because if you regulate children not being allowed to use it, they also won't be allowed on it, right? So let's take a look at this. What a weird thing. They all walk in and then just cameras take pictures of people. So I guess they're over near the most popular ones, Mark Zuckerberg and the other, because the other guys there don't have any cameras on them. So that's weird, but whatever. This is super weird. Okay. That is so weird. Okay, good.
This meeting of the Senate Judiciary Committee will come to order.
Yeah. Photographers, piss off.
I thank all
Mr. Durbin.
those in attendance. I want to preface my remarks by saying that I've been in Congress for a few years.
Well, I don't know who this guy is, but I'm More than a few years, I'd bet. Because your entire country, not mine actually, yours is though. Mine's run by pretty young people. Yours is run by literal dead people. How does that make you feel? It's weird, right? Why don't you get some people to run for president who aren't in their 80s? You know, just a suggestion. I know it's going to offend a bunch of people, but I don't care. Just get better people.
Senator Graham as well. If you do not believe this is an idea whose time has come, take a look at the turnout here.
Mm-hmm. Ooh. And here's the thing. You know what? These guys, they make a business. I guess they're lawmakers, Senate. They make their business running for Congress. They run for re-elections. They have, you know, whatever the constituents want them to talk about, I guess, is whatever hot button topic is going to get them re-elected. They talk about it. So I'm so happy to see that this is becoming a big topic of conversation, because that means that it matters to a lot of people. Otherwise, they wouldn't give a shit.
Today, the Senate Judiciary Committee will continue its work on an issue on the mind of most American families.
Yep.
How to keep our kids safe from sexual exploitation and harm in the internet age.
That is a big statement. Big statement. Because that's exactly what it is. And it's not just exploitation. It's exploitation of their time, of their energy, of their privacy, of everything. And like I know they barely touch on those kids who are being exploited, because if you think of the amount of children that are in the US, it's a tiny, minuscule amount that we cover. But it's bad. Okay? So I from this point forward, it's kind of hand in hand. When we're talking about children who are just regos, we're also talking about the kids who are exploited.
Online child sexual exploitation includes the use of online platforms to target and groom children, and the production and endless distribution of child sexual abuse material, CSAM.
His S's they're hitting.
Which can haunt victims for their entire lives, and in some cases take their lives.
In a lot of cases. And CSAM is obviously sexual assault, or it's abuse material, right? And so childhood sexual abuse material, which is just, we call it CP. That's what we usually just call it. But don't forget that AI is emerging to make it so that they can take any images of children, stuff, especially these family vloggers, Garza crew, all these people, all these kids out there that are being famous, and turn it into whatever you want now. And it's literally easy. Not hard to do. I mean, anybody can do it with an app on your phone. You don't need a super powerful supercomputer that can render 3D graphics. It can be done on your phone.
Everyone here will agree this conduct is abhorrent. Mm-hmm. I'd like to turn to a brief video to hear directly from the victims, the survivors, about the impact these crimes have had on them.
Here's the thing that really gets me excited about this video too. Not like, you know, I'm excited that this is happening, but these guys are forced to sit in front of these senators or whoever these guys are and watch this, what they're about to watch. And if they lie while they're doing this, while they're sitting here in front of these people, they can like be put in prison. They're not allowed to lie. So another reason why I'm excited this is happening. I've said this multiple times. If you actually put this stuff in front of these people's eyes, because they probably don't even watch it, if you did and you asked them honestly and were able to, and they were able to answer honestly off the record, all of them would say this is wrong. The exploitation of children. They would all be like, no, they don't have their kids on these platforms. They would never let their kids use these platforms. Oh, now they're trying to play a video.
I was sexually exploited on Facebook.
I was sexually exploited on Instagram.
I was sexually exploited on X.
This is my daughter, Olivia.
This is our son, Matthew.
Look at how beautiful Miriam is.
Can we see the video?
From suicide after being sexually exploited on Facebook.
The child that gets exploited is never the same ever again.
I reported this issue numerous times, and it took over a decade before anyone helped me.
You might be able to tell that I am using a green screen. Why is that? In the internet world, my past abusers can contact me. Fans of my abuse material as a child can find me and contact me.
Oh my gosh.
As a 17-year-old child, I had to write a victim impact statement after being extorted for 4 consecutive years. While I was strong enough to resist sending him any more pictures, there were dozens more who were not.
Wow.
A phone call to find out that my son was in his room and was suicidal. He's only 13 years old at the time. Him and a friend had been exploited online and trafficked, and My son reached out to Twitter or now X. His response was, "Thank you for reaching out. We've reviewed the content and we did not find a violation of our policies."
That's the most heartbreaking thing about this, because we have, as my people who follow me, we've all done this multiple times. I've asked you to do it on Instagram, and almost every single time it's like, we do not see a problem with this. Naked baby on the internet. We don't see a problem with this. This hasn't violated policy, except it absolutely has violated the policies, but they don't care.
So no action will be taken at this time.
Unbelievable.
How many more kids like Matthew?
Like Olivia.
Like Riley.
How many more kids will suffer and die because of social media?
Big tech fell to protect my child from sexual exploitation.
Big tech failed to protect me from online sexual exploitation.
And we need Congress to do something for our children and protect them.
Yes,
It's
you
not
do.
too late. It's not too late to do something
That's right.
about it.
Protect the future. Protect the kids coming down it. Now, you're right. It's never too late.
Online child sexual exploitation is a crisis in America. In 2013, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, known as NCMEC, received approximately 1,380 cyber tips per day. By 2023, just 10 years later, the number of cyber tips has risen to 100,000 reports a day. That's a
And remember, when they were talking about with the whistleblower, that less than 2% of those things are ever taken care of. Less than 2%. When you got Farrah Abrams on there and be like, it's okay, we're battling back. Farrah Abrams?
100,000 daily reports of child sexual abuse.
100,000.
Also known as
100,000.
In recent years, we've also seen an explosion in the so-called financial sextortion, in which a predator uses a fake social media account to trick a minor into sending explicit photos or videos, then threatens to release them unless the victim sends money.
And this is exponentially more dangerous for children who are famous online. Okay, we've seen Alex from Crazy Pieces catfished multiple times by multiple women. Okay, this is happening. Remember, Doherty Dozen said, oh, this happened to James. He just said it in passing, like, oh, whatever, it is what it is. It happened to him. What's happening is these kids, and I might even be sending them AI versions of that stuff and saying, look, if you don't give me money, I'm going to release this. Okay? Or they actually are getting the material from these kids and teenagers, and they're going to say if you don't release it, and then get way more money out of these family vloggers because they make so much money. Alicia Doherty spent $924,000 last year. Hear that again. She spent, on camera, $924,000. She didn't make that. She made way more than that. So when kids are targeting her kids, or adults are targeting her kids and saying, pay me or I'm going to put this stuff online, she's going to have to pay it. Okay? Or they don't, or whatever. A lot of them will, because it will ruin their brand. That's the most dangerous thing about family vlogging, is that they are followed by predators who are looking to make a quick buck, to kidnap, steal, or murder. That's what's so dangerous, to put your kids in that kind of danger, and they don't care.
In 2021, NCMEC received a total of 139 reports of sextortion. 2021.
Wow.
In 2023, through the end of October alone, this number skyrocketed to more than 22,000.
Wow.
More than a dozen children have died by suicide after becoming victims of this crime.
Hear this again. Don't let that pass your brain without hearing it again. Kids are dying because they are unaliving themselves because of the shame of what's about to come out. And that's happening, and a lot of kids that aren't even famous. So imagine the parents didn't pay these extortion fees for the children who are on these accounts, because it's happening to them. I promise you it is. You'll never know, because they'll never tell you, because they just pay it, because that's how they save their money in their brand. But if that ever happened to you and you found that out, would you not just stop? Would you not just be like, okay, that's it for us? But how many family vloggers out there, and there are thousands of them, okay? And thousands of kids who are being exploited. Do you think that it's happened? Do you think there's a chance it's happened?
This disturbing growth in child sexual exploitation is driven by one thing: changes in technology.
Yep.
In 1996, the world's best-selling cell phone was the Motorola StarTAC. While groundbreaking at the time, the clamshell-style cell phone wasn't much different from a traditional phone. It allowed users to make and receive calls and even receive text messages, but that was about it. Fast forward to today. Smartphones are in the pockets of seemingly every man, woman, and teenager on the planet.
And child.
Like the StarTAC today's smartphones allow users to make and receive calls and text. But they can also take photos and videos, support live streaming, and offer countless apps.
Yep.
With the touch of your finger, that smartphone that can entertain and inform you can become a back alley where the lives of your children are damaged and destroyed. These apps have changed the ways we live, work, and play.
I had a thought because that's how my brain works. Sorry for the ADHD, but think about that for a second. He's saying there's 130,000 reports of sexploitation. 130,000. How many aren't being reported? 130,000 children are being sexploited on these social media apps. So it's probably more like millions. And that just means that there are, if there was no other reports that we didn't know about, there's 130,000 children out there in the US alone who are being targets of predators. That's insanity.
But as investigations have detailed, social media and messaging apps have also given predators powerful new tools to sexually exploit children. Your carefully crafted algorithms can be more a powerful force on the lives of our children than even the most best-intentioned parent. Discord has been used to groom, abduct, and abuse children. Meta's Instagram helped connect and promote a network of pedophiles. Snapchat's disappearing messages have been co-opted by criminals who financially extort young victims.
Yes, they do. If your kid has Snapchat, I'll say this again, any social media, but if your teenager or child has Snapchat, you are a bad parent. Okay? Terrible person.
TikTok has become a, quote, platform of choice for predators to access, engage, and groom children for abuse. And the prevalence of CSAM on X has grown as the company has gutted its trust and safety workforce. Today, we'll hear from the CEOs of those companies.
YouTube? Is YouTube here? No. You know why YouTube isn't here? I don't know why YouTube isn't here. I think it's because they're like, oh, these are social media companies. YouTube's a social media company. So YouTube gets away with not being on there, and YouTube is one of the, probably, in my opinion, one of the worst. Okay, top 3 for sure. Okay, TikTok's number 1, Instagram probably number 2, but YouTube, I mean, for exploitation of children, I think YouTube is probably, again, 1, 2, and 3. So, like, there's long form content on here of kids going to the dentist, kids having their period, going bra shopping, kissing their first boy, arguing with their parents, going on vacations in bathing suits, being born, diaper changes, potty training. There are long form videos, sometimes 30 minutes to an hour long, hundreds, if not thousands deep of videos of these children on YouTube. YouTube is probably, for child exploitation, allowable child exploitation is probably the worst. But they're not here.
Not only the tech companies that have contributed to this crisis, they are responsible for many of the dangers our children face online. Their design choices, their failures to adequately invest in trust and safety, their constant pursuit of engagement and profit over basic safety have all put our kids and grandkids at risk.
Yep.
Coincidentally, several of these companies implemented common sense child safety improvements within the last week.
Coincidentally, he says. Remember when YouTube did this? They found that predators were time-stamping videos of like kids changing their diaper or being naked or in bathing suits or whatever, right? And so they said, you know what? If there's going to be kids in these videos, there's no more comments allowed. Okay? Good move by YouTube, by the way. Not enough, but good move. Okay? What's YouTube do now? Nothing. They put it back. It was a good move, but we want them back. We want the ability for predators to tag again. They took it off for a reason. Predators didn't go anywhere, so why'd they bring it back?
Days before, their CEOs would have to justify their lack of action before this committee.
Yep.
But
those bastards.
The tech industry alone is not to blame for the situation we're in. Those of us in Congress need to look in the mirror. In 1996, the same year the Motorola StarTAC was flying off shelves, and years before social media went mainstream, we passed Section 230 of the Communications Decency.
Yep. Cannot sue these platforms. Section 230 says no matter what kind of stuff you put on the platform, they can't be sued for it. Now, you can personally come sue me if I've said something, whatever, right? But these tech companies are not liable for anything that's on their platform. It is honestly the most egregious thing that has ever happened, that laws that have passed amongst all the egregious laws, because it basically gave them a free pass for anything, to put anything on their platform under free speech. Okay, I'm a big proponent of free speech as well. But exploitation of children is not free speech. And some people would say, no, it is. It is. I disagree. Okay? So, but that was one of the biggest, most egregious things that's ever happened. And it just because it's about money. And it always has been, because they were allowed to lobby lawmakers like this to put a law like that in place.
This law immunized the then fledgling internet platforms from liability for user-generated content. Interesting, only one other industry in America has an immunity from civil liability.
Big Pharma.
We'll leave that for another day.
Big Pharma.
For the past 30 years, Section 230 has remained largely un...
I cannot believe that there are industries that are private that make billions, if not trillions of dollars, are immunized against lawsuits by the federal government. The federal government is there to serve people. I cannot believe that the government would say, you know what, these companies, you can't do anything with those guys. Although we were here for you. Would that not be serving the people to allow them to go after tech companies and big pharma if something happens? I mean, honestly, the corruption is right in front of our eyes and none of us ever seem to care. Because there's so much. Send an asteroid.
Change, allowing big tech to grow into the most profitable industry in the history of capitalism without fear of liability for unsafe practices. That has to change.
Yeah, it does.
Over the past year, this committee has unanimously reported 5 bills that would finally hold tech companies accountable for child sexual exploitation on their platforms. Unanimous. Take a look at the composition and membership of the Senate Judiciary Committee.
That probably means that there's Democrats and Republicans alike sitting on this committee and saying, we're all on board for this. And yes, like even think about that. Think about how divisive politics are this day. We are more divided than we ever have been ever before. Okay, someone will say that they support Trump and all of a sudden you're a Nazi. Okay, someone says that they support Biden and all of a sudden are you out of your effing damn mind? Okay, people are so divisive. But on this thing, on this topic, not divisive. It's bipartisan. That speaks so much volumes to me and it makes me so happy because, again, people are standing up against the exploitation of children and it's like, it's a no-brainer.
And imagine, if you will, there's anything we could agree on unanimously. These 5 bills were the object of agreement. One of these bills is by Stop CSAM Act. Critically, it would let victims
sue
online providers that promote or aid and abet online child sexual exploitation.
I can't wait. And these bills passed, so these kids are going to be able to sue these platforms into oblivion. Oblivion! And I can't wait for it to happen. I cannot wait for you to, and you know what? They're weighing it, and they have been weighing it. Social media platforms have the smartest people in the world working for them, paying them the most to say, weigh these pros and cons against our bottom line. And so far, the bottom line falls out that they can still use children. Until that bottom line is effed with, they won't change it. But it's very, very, very exciting to note that these people, in the last 5 days before they had to go meet in front of these people, that they're putting these things in place. So just based on the pressure of this alone, we might start seeing changes coming soon.
Or that host or store CSAM. This stand against online child sexual exploitation is bipartisan and absolutely necessary.
And I'm going to point out that this video, like my other one about the Senate Judiciary thing, is going to get absolutely obliterated in the algorithm. Okay, I usually get about between 60 and 100,000 views on my videos. That last video where I covered this, 24,000 views. But I don't care. I'm going to cover it. It will not get in the algorithm, but 24,000 eyes see it. It's worth every minute I'm here. This is the most important stuff ever. And I need you guys to hear that. That the algorithm, the artificial intelligence, the algorithm that they have built, when I talk about this stuff, it subdues the views on the video.
Let this hearing be a call to action that we need to get kids' online safety legislation to the president's desk. I now turn to the ranking member, Senator Graham.
Yep.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Republicans will answer the call. All of us, every one of us, is ready to work with you and our Democratic colleagues on this committee to prove to the American people while Washington is certainly broken, there's a ray of hope. and it is here. It lies with your children. After years of working on this issue with you and others, I've come to conclude the following. Social media companies, as they are currently designed and operate, are dangerous products.
Yes, they are.
They're destroying lives, threatening democracy itself. These companies must be reined in, or the worst is yet to come.
We're just waiting. And I've been saying that since I started this platform. We are just waiting for a kid to be murdered, kidnapped, killed, and it's probably already happened. We haven't even heard about it.
Gavin Guffey is a Republican representative from South Carolina in the Rock Hill area. To all the victims who came and showed us photos of your loved ones, don't quit. It's working.
Yep.
You're making a difference.
Yep, you are.
Through you, we'll get to where we need to go so other people won't have to show a photo of their family.
Yeah. The victim impact statements are really, really impactful. That's why they're called that. And doing that in front of these people, like these CEOs don't give a shit. I'm glad they're forced to see it, but they don't care. They're so shielded from the outside world. They don't talk to plebs and poors. They don't care. They literally could buy countries and just do whatever the hell they please. They have more money than they will ever be able to spend in 10 of their hundreds, thousands of their lifetimes. Okay, they do not live like normal humans. Okay, they probably pull the blood from younger people and drink it. I'm just saying they don't care. But the pressure from people will amount to a bottom line change, which will force their hand to protect children. That's just the way this has to work.
The damage to your family's been done. Hopefully we can take your pain and turn it into something positive so nobody else has to hold up a sign. Gavin's son got online to Instagram and was tricked by a group in Nigeria that put up a young lady posing to be his girlfriend, and as things go at that stage in life, he gave her some photos, compromising sexual photos, and it turned out that she was part of a extortion group in Nigeria. They threatened the young man that if you don't give us money, we're going to expose these photos. He gave them money, but it wasn't enough. They kept threatening, and he killed himself. They threatened Mr. Guffey and his son. These are bastards by any known definition.
Those people should be hunted down and leave this mortal coil.
Mr. Zuckerberg, you and the companies before us, I know you don't mean it to be so, but you have blood on your hands.
Yeah. Just saying it like it is, and he's right. He is right.
You have a product.
Wow.
You have a product that's killing people.
Yep. Wow.
When we had cigarettes killing people, we did some about it, maybe not enough. You're going to talk about guns, we have the ATF. Nothing here. There's not a damn thing anybody can do about it. You can't be sued. Now, Senator Blumenthal and Blackburn, who've been like the dynamic duo here, have found emails from your company where they warned you about this stuff, and you decided not to hire 45 people that could do a better job of policing this.
Hire 10,000 people, in my opinion, on this. But they don't hire them on purpose. They could hire hundreds and thousands of them, and they wouldn't affect their bottom line. They don't want to protect kids. They don't want to protect them.
So the bottom line is you can't be sued. You should be. And these emails would be great for punitive damages.
Well, hopefully they changes and they can use those emails as punitive damages.
But the courtrooms...
So here, I'm sorry I'm stopping so much, but this is like kidding me. This guy's son dies based on a platform that's not protecting children. And they can't be sued because of it. They are immune from being sued.
Closed every American abused by all the companies in front of me. Of all the people in America we could give blanket liability protection to, this would be the last group I would pick.
Yeah.
It is now time to repeal Section 230.
Yes. Although I do think that some politicians might have side reasons for that, but if it ends up protecting children, I mean, I don't know. 230 is the reason I can say what I say on here sometimes, right? I'm not lying ever. I'm not making things up. I'm saying it how it is. But 230, I will be honest with you guys. 230 allows people to make commentary like I make, because then Doherty doesn't, instead of trying to sue me like she's done multiple times fruitlessly and wasted her money, would then try to sue YouTube for it, and YouTube would then shut me down. Removing 230 would shut down basically all the internet. Okay, repealing 230 will not help, but hear me out. If we knew without a shadow of a doubt that Section 230 would protect kids, yes. Yep. If that meant it shuts this channel down and everybody else's by protecting kids, yes.
This committee is made up of ideologically most different people you could find. We've come together through your leadership, Mr. Chairman, to pass 5 bills to deal with the problem of exploitation of children. I'll talk about them in depth in a little bit. The bottom line is all these bills have met the same fate. They go nowhere. They leave the committee and they die.
Yep.
Now,
Why? Why would a bill that protects children die after it leaves committee? Are they putting pork in it? Because if you are, stop it. Stop putting pork in the bills then. Just pass the bill as is, and then when they don't, be like, this was to protect children. Why wouldn't you pass this? Because if you give them an excuse to say, well, you have to pass this, it's bipartisan, and put pork in it, you're killing it. If you're wondering what it means to put pork in a bill, it means they put extra crap in on a bill that should pass so that it's forced to pass. Just stop. Just put the bill forward as it is, and I hope that's what they're doing. And if that's the case, then why are you calling out the people that are killing it? And why are they killing a bill that protects children?
Another approach. What do you do with dangerous products? You either allow lawsuits, you have statutory protections to protect consumers, or you have a commission of sorts to regulate the industry in question, to take your license away if you have a license, to fine you. None of that exists here.
None. Nothing.
We live in America in 2024 where there is no regulatory body dealing with the most profitable, biggest companies in the history of the world.
Nothing.
They can't be sued.
Nothing.
And there's not one law in the book that's meaningful protecting the American consumer. Other than that, we're in a good spot.
Well, that's okay.
So here's what I think is going to happen. I think after this hearing today, we're going to put a lot of pressure on our colleagues, leadership of the Republican Democratic Senate, to let these bills get to the floor and vote.
Yep. Don't put pork in it.
And I'm going to go down, starting in a couple of weeks, make unanimous consent request to do CSAM, do the Earn It Act, do your bill, do all of the bills, and you can be famous, come and object. I'm going to give you a chance to be famous.
Hear what you just said there? Be famous, come and object and be famous. So if you object to these bills, and it means that they're not going to put pork in them, I hope they don't, but it's going to lay it out and be like, if you don't vote for the protection of children, you come and get famous for it. Yes.
Now, Elizabeth Warren and Lindsey Graham have almost nothing in common. I promised her I would say that publicly. The only thing worse than me doing a bill with Elizabeth Warren is her doing a bill with me. We have sort of parked that because Elizabeth and I see an abuse here that needs to be dealt with. Senator Durbin and I have different political philosophies, but I appreciate what you've done on this committee. You've been a great partner. To all my Democratic colleagues, thank you very, very much.
Yeah, it's incredible. In this political climate.
Republican colleagues.
That should make everybody have some hope.
Thank you all very, very much. Save the applause for when we get a result.
Yeah.
It's all talk right now.
Mm-hmm.
But there'll come a day if we keep pressing to get the right answer for the American people. What is that answer? Accountability.
Yeah. Now,
these products have an upside. You've enriched our lives in many ways. Mr. Zuckerberg, you created a product I use. The idea, I think, when you first came up with this, be able to talk to your friends and your family and pass on your life, to be able to have a place where you could talk to your friends and family about good things going on in life.
Mm-hmm.
And I use it. We all use it. There's an upside to everything here, but the dark side hasn't been dealt with.
Yeah. You can keep the upside the whole way through here. There is no reason to have a downside. There really isn't. And it's so easy. It's so easy. Stop allowing kids on the platforms. It's so simple. But the reason they won't is because it makes the money.
It's now time to deal with the dark side because people have taken your idea and they've turned it into a nightmare for the American people.
Mm-hmm.
They've turned it into a nightmare for the world at large.
What a statement. Holy cow. This guy can speak.
TikTok. We had a great discussion about how maybe Larry Ellison to Oracle can...
TikTok doesn't bring anything good, though. Can we all agree on that?
protect...
I mean, have you ever been to Dr. D. Dozens TikTok? Go read the comments. It's like all positive. I feel like she does this dance with Alex in the kitchen, and it's the most cringiest thing you've ever seen in your entire life. She did this video recently where she's like, when you kick one of your kids off 360 app, and they all like, and they leave the kitchen. They put N's brother in this video, and it's all positive comments. TikTok is a cesspool of sludgy ass people. It is disgusting.
American data from Chinese communist influence. But TikTok, your representative in Israel quit the company because TikTok is being used in a way to basically destroy the Jewish state.
How? What?
This is not just about individuals. I worry that in 2024...
I don't think you should have said that. That has nothing to do with this.
Our democracy will be attacked again through these platforms by foreign actors.
Well, that I agree with. Yes, it will.
It is exposed. And AI is just starting.
Yep.
My colleagues, we're here for a reason. This committee has a history of being tough, but also doing things that need to be done. This committee has risen to the occasion. There's more that we can do. But to the members of this committee, let's insist that our colleagues rise to the occasion also. Let's make sure that in 118th Congress, we have votes that would fix this problem. All you can do is cast your vote at the end of the day, but you can urge the system to require others to cast their vote.
It shouldn't, you know what? Once these guys are in front of these people, it shouldn't be, let's cast a vote and make a law. These people should be like, you know what? You guys are right. We're listening, we're hearing it, we're going to change it so you don't have to pass a law. But they won't ever do it unless they are forced to do it. What does that tell you about how they feel about protecting children? Like, they should just all go back to their places and be like, hey, we don't need them to pass a law, guys. We don't want the scrutiny. Get the kids off.
Mr. Chairman, I will continue to work with you and everybody on this committee to have a day of reckoning on the floor of the United States Senate.
Boom!
Thank you,
yes!
Graham. Today we welcome 5 witnesses whom I will introduce now. Jason Citron, the CEO of Discord Incorporated. Mark Zuckerberg.
Discord. If it wasn't so complicated.
The founder and CEO of Meta. Evan Spiegel, the co-founder and CEO of Snap Incorporated. Shou Chu, the CEO of TikTok. And Linda Yaccarino, the CEO of X Corporation, formerly known as Twitter. I will note for the record that Mr. Zuckerberg and Mr. Chu are appearing voluntarily. I am disappointed that our other witnesses did not offer that same degree of cooperation.
Oh, they were forced.
Mr. Citron, Mr. Spiegel, and Ms. Yaccarino are here pursuant to subpoenas.
Woo, you got subpoenaed!
And Mr. Citron only accepted service of his subpoena after U.S. Marshals were sent to Discord's headquarters at taxpayers' expense.
Discord, you asshole. So this guy's like, see, again, they don't live in the real world. These people can just hire $5 million an hour lawyers to be like, whatever they want. But this guy was forced by U.S. Marshals to come in front. Because not only does he not want to protect kids, but he's also like, F you, I don't give a crap. I'm not going to talk to you. And it's, I can't wait to hear what this guy has to say. Oh, I can't wait.
I hope this is not a sign of your commitment or lack of commitment to address
it is. It is a sign of his lack of commitment.
Serious issue before us. After I swear in the witnesses, each witness will have 5 minutes to make an opening statement. Then senators will ask questions in an opening round, each of 7 minutes. I expect to take a short break at some point during questioning to allow the witnesses to stretch their legs. If anyone is in need of a break at any point, please let my staff know.
That's why these things are so long, but they're so desperately needed. To get a billionaire in front of you for like 3 hours, like, isn't that crazy? Like, it would cost these billionaires probably $1 million to sit here in this thing right now.
Before I turn to the witnesses, I'd also like to take a moment to acknowledge that this hearing has gathered a lot of attention, as we expected. We have a large audience, the largest I've seen in this room today. I want to make clear, as with other Judiciary Committee hearings, we ask people to behave appropriately. I know there is high emotion in this room for justifiable reasons, but I ask you to please follow the traditions of the committee. That means no standing, shouting, chanting, or applauding witnesses. Disruptions will not be tolerated. Anyone who does disrupt the hearing will be asked to leave. The witnesses are here today to address a serious topic. We want to hear what they have to say. I thank you for your cooperation.
Mark Zuckerberg makes $375,000 an hour. Okay, so he's here for 3 hours. This is $1 million for him to sit in this damn hearing. Holy cow!
For all of the witnesses, please stand to be sworn in.
So this is it. You swear in, you can't lie. You lie in here, it's perjury. I find it crazy in this world of politics that you can lie all the time unless you're in front of a certain committee. And then if you lie in front of this committee, then you can go to jail. Whatever. They take it seriously, at least.
Do you affirm the testimony you're about to give before the committee will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Let the record reflect.
Look at this chomo on the left. Look at this douchebag on the left. You can tell, if that's the Discord guy, it is Citron. He had to, by federal marshal, to go pick that douche up.
Like that all the witnesses have answered in the affirmative. Mr. Citron, please proceed with your opening statement.
Let me hear this. Let's hear Discord's damn stupid excuse for not protecting kids.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Jason Citron.
You look like you're from Lord of the Rings.
And I am the co-founder and CEO of Discord.
And an asshole. You forgot to put that. I'm also an asshole.
We are an American company with about 800 employees living and working in 33 states. Today, Discord has grown to more than 150 million monthly active users.
Oh.
Discord is a communications platform where friends hang out and talk online about shared interests, from fantasy sports to writing music
to CSAM
to video games,
drug dealing, swinging.
I've been playing video games since I was 5 years old.
We can tell.
And as a kid, it's how I had fun and found friendship.
We could tell.
Many of my fondest memories are of playing video games with friends.
We could tell.
We build Discord so that anyone could
tell by the size of your hands.
Build friendships playing video games, from Minecraft to Wordle and everything in between. Games have always brought us together, and Discord makes that happen today.
And other things, though.
Discord is one of the many services that have revolutionized how
I can't get over what this guy looks like, and the fact that he was like, he shook off a subpoena from these guys and was like, no, F you. And like had to have marshals come. Oh man, we'd love to see the body cam footage of that. Holy.
We communicate
what a
with each
dickhole
other in the different moments of our lives. iMessage, Zoom, Gmail, and on and on. We enrich our lives, create communities, accelerate commerce.
You should have just had Farrah Abrams give your statement. Probably would have been better.
Healthcare and education. Just like with all technology and tools, there are people who exploit and abuse our platforms for immoral and illegal purposes.
And you know about it. Don't do anything about it.
All of us here on the panel today and throughout the tech industry have a solemn and urgent responsibility to ensure that everyone who uses our platforms is protected from these criminals.
It's killing me, the audio off these mics, man. Just take like a foot.
Both online and off. Discord has a special responsibility to do that because a lot of our users are young people. More than 60% of our active users are between the ages of 13 and 24.
So that means a large percentage of them are under 13, by the way.
It's why safety is built into everything we do. It's essential to our mission.
Is it? Is it built into everything you do? Is it? Like, again, you're not to lie. And you're just lying.
And our business.
Built in it. Shut up.
And most of all, this is deeply personal.
Oh, is it?
I'm a dad with 2 kids.
And yet had to be forcibly brought to this meeting about protecting kids. Sounds like you're a real great dad. Do you let your kids on Discord?
I want Discord to be a product that they use and love.
Sure,
and I want
they're not going to be.
Them to be safe on Discord. I want them to be proud of me for helping to bring this product to the world.
He didn't write this.
That's why I'm pleased to be here today
While these marshals stick guns in my back.
To discuss the important
Those two dudes behind him are like, yeah, you're here because we brought you here, bro.
topic of the online safety of minors. My written testimony provides a comprehensive overview of our safety programs. Here are a few examples of how we protect and empower young people.
Okay. Oh.
First.
Come here, buddy. We just did the math on Sam. He's literally almost 18 years old. Hey? Sorry. We needed a cat break from this guy, this asshole.
We've put our money into safety.
No, you haven't.
The tech sector
Put maybe a little bit of money into it.
has a reputation of larger companies buying smaller ones to increase user numbers and boost financial results. But the largest acquisition we've ever made at
Gus, come here.
Discord was a company called Centropy. It didn't help us expand our market share or improve our bottom line. In fact, because it uses AI to help us identify, ban, and report criminals and bad behavior, it has actually lowered our user count by getting rid of bad actors.
Well, that means that there was a lot of bad actors if it lowers your... So... Why were you forced to come here? Why were you proud to come here and stand on your record of safety then?
Second, you've heard of end-to-end encryption that blocks anyone, including the platform itself, from seeing users' communications. It's a feature on dozens of platforms, but not on Discord. That's a choice we've made. We don't believe we can fulfill our safety obligations if the text messages of teens are fully encrypted, because encryption would block our ability to investigate a serious situation and, when appropriate, report to law enforcement.
It probably just happened like the last 5 days.
Third, we have a zero-tolerance policy on child sexual abuse material, or CSAM. We scan images uploaded to Discord to detect and block the sharing of this abhorrent material.
I like to hear the numbers of the success rate of that because I bet you it's very low.
We've also...
Like, they can say these things as if they were definitive and they're like 100% effective, when in case they're probably less than 10% effective. But they can say it as if it's like the definitive statement that it is the thing.
Built an innovative tool, Teen Safety Assist, that blocks explicit images and helps young people easily report unwelcome conversations. We've also developed a new semantic hashing technology for detecting novel forms of CSAM called CLIP. And we're sharing this technology with other platforms through the Tech Coalition. Finally, we recognize that improving online safety requires all of us to work together. So we partner with nonprofits, law enforcement, and our tech colleagues to stay ahead of the curve in protecting young people online. We want to be the platform that empowers our users to have better online experiences, to build true connections, genuine friendships, and to have fun.
This guy has never had fun before.
Senators, I sincerely hope today is the beginning of an ongoing dialogue that results in real improvements in online safety.
The platitudes that these guys just spew, these billionaires. F right off. No one believes you.
I look forward to your questions and to helping the committee learn more about it.
I also look forward to their questions about this guy.
Cool.
Thank you, Mr. Citron. Mr. Zuckerberg.
Now, this is what everybody's waiting for. This is the biggest one. This is Instagram. This is Facebook. This is a bunch of platforms all together. This is like the worst of the worst. This robot is about to speak.
Chairman Durbin, Ranking Member Graham, and members of the committee. Every day, teens and young people do amazing things on our services. They use our apps to create new things, express themselves, explore the world around them, and feel more connected to the people they care about. Overall, teens tell us that this is a positive part of their lives. But
you think teens are going to be like, this is not a positive part of my life, so I don't want it. Shut up.
Some face challenges online, so we work hard to provide parents and teens support and controls to reduce potential harms.
No, you don't. No, you don't. Every time I hear him say something about protecting kids, all I have to do is look at Everly LeBrant's Instagram. And let me show you it. If I'm not blocked, I'm probably blocked, but whatever. Let's take a look. Oh, here, let's just look at the little brother. I haven't even looked at this in a long time. I haven't looked at this in forever. Here. This is Zealand LeBrant. This is Everly's little brother. This little kid is what, like 4, maybe 3? Has 631,000 followers. 631,000. You heard it correctly. Hey guys, brother of LeBrant fam. Love my big sister, little sister Paige. managed by my parents. That's it. I can show you hundreds, if not thousands of accounts of things that say just this little phrase right here. That is the only loophole they need to get around the kids on Instagram. This kid is followed by 631,000 people, mostly adults. A child. And that is the only thing you have to put to bypass that safety. We're all about safety though, eh?
Being a parent is one of the hardest jobs in the world.
How would you know? You probably have full-time nannies.
Technology gives us new ways to communicate with our kids and feel connected to their lives, but it can also make parenting more complicated. And it's important to me that our services are positive for everyone who uses them.
Why don't these guys ever have a haircut? They could literally have a haircut every day if they wanted by the most prolific hair designers on earth. And they all look like they just woke up from a frat party. Well, they don't go to frat parties. You know, like a LAN party then.
We are on the side of parents everywhere working hard to raise their kids. Over the last 8 years, we've built more than 30 different tools, resources, and features that parents can set time limits for their teens using our apps, see who they're following, or if they report someone for bullying. For teens, we've added nudges that remind them when they've been using Instagram for a while or if it's getting late and they should go to sleep, as well as ways to hide words or people without those people finding out. We put special restrictions on teen accounts on Instagram. By default, accounts for under 16s are set to private.
Excuse me? Accounts for teens under 16 are set to private? Well, I'm not following this account here, and this kid is what, 4? Interesting. It's not private. Interesting that, eh? And you know why? Because that. So, like, I hope, and I can't watch this whole thing today, and I will uncover the rest of it. I hope they ask the question, well, it's odd that you say that kids under 16 are private automatically when it's not true. It's just not true. You're just a damn liar.
Have the most restrictive content settings and can't be messaged by adults that they don't follow or people they aren't connected to. With so much of our lives spent on mobile devices and social
Can't be messaged by adults. Is that so? So they can be messaged by adults. They absolutely can. But look at the comments by this person. I didn't think you looked good, but right there, so cute. Look at the comments on this. This child doesn't even know he's on the internet. He has no idea, neither does his baby. They have no idea. And look, all the comments are just how cute they are. And then one person's right, why does a little child have an Instagram account? Seems weird, like the parents are using the kids as products to make more money on social media. This is the only one that has clapbacks. Watch. You just need to stop and think they're trying to make more money on social media. Exactly. What it is, child exploitation for monetary gain. If you're unhappy about it, you probably should not comment as activity. Like, obviously the non-accounts are like, leave them alone. F off. I just hate the lies. They're just so easy to prove. You can message kids on this platform.
It's important to look into the effects on teen mental health and well-being. I take this very seriously.
No, you don't.
Mental health is a complex issue, and the existing body of scientific work has not shown a causal link between using social media and young people having worse mental health outcomes.
Yes, it has.
A
liar.
Recent National Academies of Science report evaluated over 300 studies.
And how much you want to bet Facebook or Meta paid these scientists to make these reports? Like when you, again, these are the most powerful companies on earth. Okay, you don't think they have their hands in every pot trying to make things like, remember Big Tobacco had doctors out there being like, smoking's good for you. They paid for those studies. Anytime these guys ever read you a study, just take it with a massive grain of salt. Likely they paid for the study through different means.
And found that research, quote, did not support the conclusion that social media causes changes in adolescent mental health at the population level.
But it does.
End quote.
It does.
It also suggested that social media can provide significant positive benefits when young...
So everybody else is wrong, except this one article. Okay, well, he's right. Let's move on.
When people use it to express themselves, explore and connect with others. Still, we're going to continue to monitor the research and use it to inform our roadmap.
Oh, are you? That's nice of you.
Keeping young people safe online has been a challenge since the internet began. And as criminals evolve their tactics, we have to evolve our defenses too.
But you do it 10 years too late.
We work closely with law enforcement to find bad actors and help bring them to justice.
Less than 2% efficacy.
But the difficult reality is that no matter how much we invest or how effective our tools are, there's always more to learn and more improvements to make.
It's because you don't invest a lot at all. Hardly any, actually. Of all the things you invest in, that's probably the least.
But we remain ready to
How
work
would you
with
know?
members of this committee, industry, and parents to make the internet safer for everyone. I'm proud of the work that our teams do to improve online child safety on our services and across the entire internet.
You don't know what anybody does.
We have around 40,000 people overall working on safety and security, and we've invested more than $20 billion.
You have 40,000 people working on safety and security of a 2% efficacy rate? I mean, you probably have to fire them all then. Maybe just take them out of a building that just serves them, does their laundry for them and gives them all as much food and coffee as they want. Why don't you actually put them to work a little bit? 40,000, and you have that type of efficacy rate. Go try to report something on Instagram right now. Watch what happens. 40,000?
This since 2016, including around $5 billion in the last year alone. We have many teams dedicated to child safety and teen well-being, and we lead the industry in a lot of the areas that we're discussing today.
But it doesn't work. It doesn't work.
We build technology to tackle the worst online risks and share it to help our whole industry get better, like Project Lantern, which helps companies share data about people who break child safety rules, and we're founding members of Take It Down, a platform which helps young people prevent their nude images from being spread online.
There's a literal company for that. And why is there a company for that? Because of companies like this.
We also go beyond legal requirements and use sophisticated technology to proactively discover abusive material. And
2% efficacy.
As a result, we find and report more inappropriate content than anyone else in the industry.
Well, you're the biggest one in the industry, so by default, that should be the answer. So, you're the biggest one.
As the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children put it this week, Meta goes, quote, above and beyond to make sure that there are no portions of their network where this type of activity occurs.
Just going to keep bringing it back to this. Every time he says a lie like that, let's just bring it back to this little highlighted part. And this, 631,000 followers of a 4-year-old who doesn't even know he's on the internet. Just keep bringing it back. I'm just going to keep reminding you. Is that okay, Mark? Okay, cool.
End quote. I hope we can have a substantive discussion today that drives improvements across the industry, including legislation that delivers what parents say they want. A clear system for age verification and control over what apps their kids are using.
I'm not a smart man. Okay? I don't know how to code. I've said this a million times before. This guy is a smart man. This guy knows how to code. He knows how to program algorithms. He knows how to do all this stuff. He's a brilliant mind. Okay? He really is. So, I don't know why it's so hard to be like, don't allow kids on our platform. It's so easy. It's so easy. I've said it many times before. They don't like your political speech? Gone. Okay, they'll boot you off in an instant. Not very hard for them to do it either. Okay? When it comes to children, that's a lot harder. Is it? Just stop allowing kids under 13 on your platform to be used in content as well, and to be on there at all. Some parents will bypass it and let them do fake age, but it should be a big reporting apparatus in place that follows it and says, okay, we know this kid's 13 and should be able to report it. It should be gone instantly. Okay? You have 40,000 people working in that department. It should be a no-brainer. Okay? Stop allowing kids and pictures of kids. I know people would be very upset about that because a lot of people I have private accounts and I like to share it with my family, Facebook and stuff like that. And I get that. I have pictures of kids on my Facebook that I share with friends and family because my Facebook has been private and I've knocked off everybody that's not a friend. Even from my band days, I don't know. I've culled it down. I've thousands of people kicked off and blocked off my page because I want it to be private. And so I understand that, right? But on public profile, this is so, I can't believe how easy this is, and I have to explain this to a tech billionaire who's a genius. Any public profile that has pictures of children in it, make it private. You don't have to boot them off, just make it private. And then just allow them to grow that way. Just say, hey, if they grow a private, if, Zealand LeBrant has 630,000 on a private account, that's a little bit different, right? That's crazy, but that's, at least it's one more thing in place that every time they accept a person to follow this child, they have to look at that person and say, wow, this is good. This is good. This is good. And if a predator happens to be in that thing, that means that they are screening that predator and allowing them through. So it's just one step. but just stop allowing content with children. It's so easy, and you can do it. Again, 2 lines of code probably.
3 out of 4 parents want App Store age verification. And 4 out of 5 want parental approval of whenever teens download apps. We support this. Parents
so then do it.
Should have the final say on what apps are appropriate for their children and shouldn't have to upload their ID every time. That's what app stores are for. We also support setting industry standards on age-appropriate content and limiting signals for advertising to teens to age and location and not behavior.
That's not true.
At the end of the day, we want everyone who uses our services to have safe and positive experiences.
Unless you're a conservative, then you can piss right off.
Before I wrap up, I want to recognize the families who are here today who have lost a loved one or lived through some terrible things that no family should have to...
Someone just told them to F off, I think. You heard that? So, no way. They're like, no, don't say anything.
Endure.
Someone said something.
These issues are important for every parent and every platform. I'm committed to continuing to work in these areas, and I hope we can make progress today.
I hope he's honest. I hope he's being honest. I mean, this guy literally can lose 90% of his wealth and still never, ever, ever spend all of it. Impossible. Like, he could have a redemption arc that could be world-changing. He could literally, like Elon Musk tomorrow, and be like, boom, no more kids on this platform. Sorry. He'll lose billions and billions and billions of dollars. But, okay. He could have a redemption arc and be that person he thinks he probably is in his head. And that's the craziest thing. These guys can do it. There's no laws stopping them from protecting kids. There are people that they have with their boards of directors and stuff that might get upset, but he's like, look, man, it's my company. Gonna do what I want. And could just, like that, protect millions of kids and future kids. But would they? Again, and not lose the way of life that he has at all. At all. And then look like a robot.
Mr. Spiegel?
Who? Spiegel?
Chairman Durbin, Ranking Member Graham, and members of the committee, thank you for convening this hearing and for moving forward important legislation to protect children online.
This guy's nose could stab somebody.
I'm Evan Spiegel, the co-founder and CEO of Snap.
Yeah, you're a jackass. You are one of the... I think Snapchat is probably one of the most dangerous apps for teenagers specifically, and they know it. Like, Snapchat is so dangerous. There are so many kids who have died of fentanyl overdoses, and you could trace it right back to where they started getting their drugs on Snapchat. Snapchat is like, no-brainer. Do not let your kids have Snapchat.
We created Snapchat, an online service that is used by more than 800 million people worldwide to communicate with their friends.
Secretly.
And family.
Secretly.
I know that many of you have been working to protect children online since before Snapchat was created. And we are grateful for your long-term dedication to this cause and your willingness to work together to help keep our community safe. I want to acknowledge the survivors of online harms and the families who are here today.
You know, these guys just shout these platitudes that their lawyers wrote and then go off into their, like, you know, super yachts and just tell everybody to F right off with the middle finger. They don't give a shit. They don't care. Because if they honestly believe the words that are coming out of their mouth off these pieces of paper, they could change it. That's just as simple as it is. That's just that's it. Change it.
Who have suffered the loss of a loved one. Words cannot begin to express the profound sorrow I feel that a service we designed to bring people happy.
This makes it worse, by the way, when people, billionaires, tech billionaires, spout these things that lawyers wrote. Words cannot really. You're better off not saying these things. Okay? It makes it worse.
Happiness and joy has been abused to cause harm. I want to be clear that we understand our responsibility to keep our community safe.
No, you don't.
I also want to recognize the many families who have worked to raise awareness on these issues, pushed for change, and collaborated with lawmakers on important legislation like the Cooper-Davis Act, which can help save lives. I started building Snapchat with my co-founder Bobby Murphy when I was 20 years old.
No one gives a shit.
We designed Snapchat to solve some of the problems that we experienced online when we were teenagers.
What were the problems? That your parents could read what you were writing to somebody? Is that the problem? Because Snapchat, all it does is has disappearing messages. It's the most dangerous app your children can use, by the way. The most dangerous. And he's like, those were the problems? Okay.
We didn't have an alternative to social media. That meant pictures shared online were permanent, public, and subject to popularity metrics.
And they really are still on or on Snapchat too. Like, it happens more than you think. There are apps that go around Snapchat that allow you to take screenshots. And if you do take a screenshot, because you can anyway, it doesn't matter, it'll let the other person know that the screenshot has been taken. But sometimes that's too late when that's happened. So get wrecked.
It didn't feel very good.
What
we
a
built
dickhole.
Snapchat differently because we wanted a new way to communicate with our friends that was fast, fun, and private.
Yeah. That's it right there. Teenagers, I'm sorry. Your children, I'm sorry. To a degree, you should have some privacy as they grow. Of course, if they're trustworthy, yes. But a lot of times Snapchat is the one used because teens don't want their parents to know what they're doing.
Picture is worth 1,000 words, so people communicate with images and videos on Snapchat. We don't have public likes or comments when you share your story with friends. Snapchat is private by default, meaning that people need to opt in to add friends and choose who can contact them. When we built Snapchat, we chose to have the images and videos.
I have Snapchat and I don't even use it. It's garbage. But just because I'm a social media person and I want to know, apps. The reason I have most of the apps I have, honestly, is because I want to just know what they're about, how they work, so that I can be ahead of my kids on that kind of stuff. I'm not joking. And like show you guys what it's about. But Snapchat, like I can't tell you the amount of inappropriate, just unreal messages you can get from people on Snapchat. It's crazy. Ugh.
And through our service, delete by default. Unlike prior generations who've enjoyed the privacy afforded by phone calls, which aren't recorded, our generation has benefited from the ability to share moments through Snapchat that may not be
so he's trying to compare it to having like a home phone back in the day. Like having a home phone back in the day, we had home phones, but could listen. Our parents could listen if they really wanted to. You could pick up the other phone in the kitchen. I'm listening. Even though, I'm not saying you should not give your kids privacy. I'm just saying sometimes it's really dangerous. And sometimes kids don't earn the privacy, and it's actually dangerous for them to have more privacy, just depending on the child. Okay? But he's trying to compare that. Like back in the day, you couldn't. Yeah, there's a million ways to do it. So shut up.
Perfect, but instead convey emotion without permanence.
It's permanent a lot of the times. You damn liar.
Even though Snapchat messages are deleted by default, we let everyone know that images and videos can be saved by the recipient. When we take action on illegal or potentially harmful content, we also retain the evidence for an extended period.
Just admitting it. So it gets deleted and it doesn't really get deleted.
Which allows us to support law enforcement and hold criminals accountable.
Which you don't do.
To help prevent this.
See, look, there's people yelling. I know you probably can't hear here. There are people like screaming at this guy, be like, you damn liar.
Spread of harmful content on Snapchat, we approve the content that is recommended on our service using a combination of automated processes and human review. We apply our content rules consistently and fairly across all accounts. We run samples of our enforcement actions through quality assurance to verify that we're getting it right. We also proactively scan for known child sexual abuse material, drug-related content, and other types of harmful content.
Yeah, but you're not successful at it, so.
Remove that content, deactivate.
I like, again, when they say it, remove, it sounds like he's saying we remove all of it. It's not true. They remove a tiny, tiny percentage of it. Tiny percentage.
Device block offending accounts. Preserve the evidence for law enforcement.
The cartel uses Snapchat.
And report certain content to the relevant authorities for further action. Last year, we made 690,000 reports to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, leading to more than 1,000 arrests.
Hear that. 690,000 reports. And that's a small percentage of what goes on in this app. So that should, right there, like they think that they're like a win. Look, last year was 690,000. Look what we did, 1,000 arrests. So 1,000 arrests of 700,000 reports, and that's only a small percentage of them? Wow, good for you guys. All that tells me is that your app is really, really damn dangerous, and it shouldn't exist.
We also removed 2.2 million pieces of drug-related content and blocked 705,000 associated accounts.
Again, dangerous. Does he not hear that? There was 2.5 million drug-related accounts. That's a small percentage, guys. That is the scariest thing that you've heard so far.
Even with our strict privacy settings, content moderation efforts, proactive detection, and law enforcement collaboration, bad things can still happen when people use online services.
Wow.
That's why we believe that people under the age of 13 are not ready to communicate on Snapchat.
And yet there are so many kids under the age of 13 on Snapchat. Millions.
We strongly encourage parents to use the device-level parental controls on iPhone and Android. We use them in our own household, and my wife approves every app that our 13-year-old downloads.
I bet you this kid's 13-year-old isn't on Snapchat.
For parents who want more visibility...
I hope they ask him, is your child on Snapchat? Oh, man, I hope. I mean, if your dad's the owner of Snapchat, I'd be like, okay, probably is a little bit more protected because he's like, hey, just monitor that my kid isn't going to die of fentanyl overdose.
Control, we built Family Center in Snapchat, where you can view who your teen is talking to, review privacy settings, and set content
who they're talking to, not what they're saying.
Limits. We have worked for years with members of the Committee on legislation like the Kids Online Safety Act and the Cooper-Davis Act, which we are proud to support. I want to encourage broader industry support for legislation protecting children online. No legislation is perfect, but some rules of the road are better than none.
How about no kids on the platform? Yeah, that sounds good to me. That's it. Super
Much
easy
of the
answer.
work that we do to protect people that use our service would not be possible without the support of our partners across the industry, government...
This guy's giving us a speech after he wins an award. Shut up!
...nonprofit organizations, NGOs, and in particular law enforcement and the first responders who have committed their lives to helping keep people safe.
Oh my God.
I am profoundly grateful for the extraordinary efforts across...
The empty platitudes make this worse. And they never realize this. They didn't have people, PR people, are like when you say this stuff, you sound like a total jackass. In front of these parents whose kids have died, it makes you sound like a total dickweed.
...our country and around the world to prevent criminals from using online services to perpetrate their crimes. I feel an overwhelming sense of gratitude for the opportunities that this country has afforded me and my family. I feel a deep obligation to give back and to make a positive difference, and I am grateful to be here today as part of this vitally important democratic process.
Shut up.
Members of the committee, I give you my commitment that we will be part of the solution for online safety.
No, you won't.
We will be honest about our shortcomings, and we will work continuously to improve.
No, you won't. You will be forced to by the law.
Thank you.
And we'll have to take it.
And I look forward to answering your questions.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Chu.
Chair Durbin, Ranking Member Graham, and members of the committee. I appreciate the opportunity to appear before you today.
This guy's appeared in front of these people a bunch of times. TikTok is one of the... Like a TikTok tumblers on this damn thing. You brought advertisement?
My name is Shou Chu, and I'm the CEO of TikTok, an online community of more than 1 billion people worldwide, including well over 170 million Americans, who use our app every month to create, to share,
to exploit children,
and to discover. Now, although the average age on TikTok in the US is over 30, we recognize that special safeguards are required to protect minors, and especially when it comes...
See how they just misdirect you there? Like, the average age is over 30, yeah, but there's probably, if there's 170 million Americans on there, like, probably a third of those are children.
...to combat.
That's crazy.
I think all forms of CSAM. As a father of 3 young children myself, I know that the issues that we're discussing...
And it's just, when you say that you're a dad of kids, and all these guys who have said that so far, do you not realize that this makes it worse? That you are a parent of children and you know that you're sworn to protect kids and you don't? Do you not like, you catching that? You're worse for that.
Today are horrific and the nightmare of every parent. I am proud of our efforts to address the threats to young people online, from a commitment to protecting them, to our industry-leading policies, use of innovative technology, and significant...
Less than 2% efficacy.
...ongoing investments in trust and safety to achieve this goal. TikTok is vigilant about enforcing its...
No, you're not.
13 and up age policy.
Is that so? Is that so? What about the Garza crew, the one we covered yesterday? What about them? They're like 6!
And offers an experience for teens that is much more restrictive than you and I would have as adults. We make careful product design choices to help make our app inhospitable to those seeking to harm teens.
You're such a damn liar. Like, I know all these lawmakers sitting here listening, they are allowed to say whatever they want for 5 minutes, but these are all lies. They are literally all lies.
Let me give you a few examples of long-standing policies that are unique to TikTok. We didn't do them last week. First, direct messaging is not available to any users under the age of 16. Second,
they get just fake the age on the app then. which they probably do.
Accounts for people under 16.
I mean, it's so silly. They're like, hey, you know, if you're under 16, you can't get a message. Well, then I'm just going to affect this age when I sign up. That makes me 18. Oh, okay, cool. You can do that, though.
Are automatically set to private along with their content.
Is that so? I know that they eventually do sometimes will take them down, because I remember that Everly LeBrantner, and they were like commenting about how like they got kicked off TikTok. So TikTok, I think, does do some of it, but there are kids on here like the Garza crew. I guess I'm blocked, so I can't see it. So, but there are tons of kids on here, lots of kids. LeBrants are one of them that just is like exclusively almost all their kids. There's so much porn on TikTok too. No child should be on. There should be no kid on there at all.
The content cannot be downloaded and will not be recommended to people they do not know.
That's a lie.
Third, every teen under 18 has a screen time limit automatically set to 60 minutes. And fourth, only people 18 and above are allowed to use our live stream feature.
Have you ever seen a teenager live stream on TikTok? I have. Lots under 18 too. So that's a lie too. Like, I hope these lawmakers are like taking the notes like, you said this, just so you're aware, then how does this happen? And like show him with his like, here, how does this happen then if that's the case? I would love to hear their reasoning.
I'm proud to say that TikTok was among the first to empower parents to supervise their teens on our app with our family pairing tools.
But you have to do that. They don't just automatically happen.
Includes setting screen time limits, filtering out content from the teens' feeds.
Notice how they never say we don't want kids on the platform. They're like, look, we want the kids on here, so we're going to put these little things in place because we want their eyes here. They never say we don't want kids on here. That would be the safest thing, and they know it, but they will never say that.
Amongst others. We made these choices after consulting with doctors and safety experts who understand the unique stages of teenage development to ensure that we have the appropriate safeguards to prevent harm.
Bro, this guy works for China, just so you guys are all aware. He literally works for the Chinese Communist Party. So I don't blame him. He's just being told what to say.
And minimize risk. Now, safety is one of the core priorities that defines TikTok under my leadership. We currently have more than 40,000 trust and safety professionals working to protect our community globally. And we expect to invest more than $2 billion in trust and safety efforts this year alone, with a significant part of that in our US operations. Our robust community guidelines strictly prohibit content or behavior that puts teenagers at risk of exploitation or other harm, and we vigorously enforce them. Our technology moderates all content uploaded to our app to help quickly identify potential CSAM.
And if you don't have the right opinion, it'll also delete that. I've been booted off TikTok like 3 times. And I'm not putting up CSAM. I'm just calling out people who exploit children. And because I do that, I'm removed. So they don't allow people to do what I do, like YouTube allows me to do. They don't allow that on TikTok.
And other material that breaks our rules. It automatically removes the content or elevates it to our safety professionals for further review. We also moderate direct messages for CSAM and related material, and use third-party tools like PhotoDNA and Take It Down to combat CSAM to prevent content from being uploaded to our platform. We continually meet with parents, teachers, and teens. In fact, I sat down with a group just a few days ago, Insight, to strengthen the protections on our platform. And
don't listen to anything people say. Shh.
We also work with leading groups.
All right, let's go to the next one. I don't care.
We shared it
for Chairman Durbin, Ranking Member Graham, and esteemed members of the committee.
So this is the Twitter lady.
Thank you for the opportunity to discuss X's work in protecting.
Ms. Yacarino, could you check if your microphone is on?
My talk.
It's on.
How is that?
She just talks really slow, dude. I know. I hear you.
Okay, maybe
Thank you very much.
Adjust my chair. Apologies.
Okay, just keep going.
Chairman Durbin, Ranking Member Graham, and esteemed members of the committee. Thank you for the opportunity to discuss X's work to protect the safety of minors online. Today's hearing is titled A Crisis. which calls for immediate action. As a mother,
stop saying these things. People, stop admitting that you're parents because it makes it worse.
This is personal. And I share the sense of...
As a mother, I don't give a shit about other kids. That's all I hear.
See, X is an entirely new company, an indispensable platform for the world and for democracy.
Although, I will say this. Like, why is X on here but YouTube's not? Like, I've never seen a child just surfing Twitter. Never. Like, you can go to a high, like maybe high school aged, but I've never got into like, I guess I've never asked a bunch of kids, hey, are you on Twitter? But like, are kids using X? Are they really on there? Because they shouldn't be. But if anybody deserves to be, it's YouTube over X. Like, I honestly am asking you guys, are your children on Twitter? Are they on there?
You have my personal commitment that X will be active and a part of this solution.
I honestly believe that because Elon Musk is running it. And I think that Elon Musk, if he realized this was a problem, like if Elon Musk ran Meta and all those other programs and TikTok, whatever, and like knew that this was going on kids, he'd be the kind of guy that's like, you know what? No kids on here. Boom. He would just make the call and it would happen. I honestly believe that.
While I joined X only in June of 2023, I bring a history of working together with governments, advocates, and NGOs to harness
how much do you think that bracelet's worth?
The power of media to protect people. Before I joined, I was struck by the leadership steps.
I'm not.
This
okay,
new
this
company,
is not the really one I care about.
No.
CSAM,
if you intentionally
forces to bring these bad offenders to justice. Second, with artificial.
I'm going to focus on my legislation on CSAM. What it says is civil liability if you intentionally or knowingly host or store child sexual abuse materials or make child sex abuse materials available.
Someone needs to fix this guy's mic.
Secondly, intentionally or knowingly promote or aid and abet a violation of child sexual exploitation laws. Is there anyone here who believes you should not be held civilly liable for that type of conduct? Mr. Citron?
No.
Good morning, Chair. The
answer's easy. No, if we're doing that, we should be held accountable.
Very much believe that this content...
Okay, I'm sorry. I will come back to this because this is really, really important, and I wanted to do like a 2-hour video because they won't watch it. I need you guys to watch these ones. It's really, really important. This is probably going to be like a 3-parter or more because I think this is probably the most important thing out there, and I got to make it interesting, and I can't make it too long because you won't watch it. That's just the way it works. People's attention span is not long enough for the stuff, but this is really, 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 really important. So what say you below about the comments, these opening statements from these guys? Like, it's just a bunch of platitudes, and they're a bunch of liars. That's all it is. They can say things because they're like, yeah, if they took down one CSAM thing or one drug dealer or one thing, they're like, we took it down. And they make it sound like they do it a lot. But don't forget, it's less than 2% efficacy, especially in Meta. They had a whistleblower that came forward. And if you think it's any better on any other platform, you're wrong. It's probably worse. Okay? That whistleblower changed the game. That's why this is allowed to go on, and I hope they bring that up. I haven't seen it. I'm going to blind react with you guys. So let me know what you think below so far, especially this jackwagon over here, who had to be literally had to have police come drag his ass out here. That's crazy. Take a deep breath. Thank you for being here for these conversations. Spread these videos. Again, I will not be putting the algorithm. This will get the lowest amount of views because that's on purpose. That's the AI hears what I'm saying and says, nope. We don't want this out there, and that's totally by design. So it's on you and on me to spread this as best we can to everywhere we can. Get on Instagram, put it out there. Facebook, put it out there. Share this with everybody. This is this because nobody's really gonna watch these things. Nobody watches this stuff. But this is one of the most important things. And as the Dick Durbin says at the beginning there, I've never seen it this full in here. This is a big topic. A lot of people are talking about it, and we need to keep spreading it. Please do me a favor, spread this video, okay? And I will see you when I see you.